Hey, Chico. Hey, broski. What's good? Long time no see. Yeah, I've been busy. Hey, man, look. Do you know that guy? That Maserati must be a compensation for his shortcomings. Quiet. He might hear us. Hey, Nico.
What's up, my man?
Haven't seen you in ages.
Yeah, when did you get out?
Get out?
Well, yeah, weren't you incarcerated?
Incarcerated? What? No. I've been working offshore.
Oh.
Who told you that?
Humans love security, the feeling of safety. That good old familiarity is like that uncle who treats you with candy and heartwarming laughter every time he comes by and visits. Judging acts as a tool of establishing that security to some degree. It's a way of describing the milieu, the atmosphere, the surroundings, to decode the situation and navigate through world. Judgment is very instinctive, so that we can cut down on time and effort that we put into unveiling the unknown. We want to establish who we are dealing with in terms of social status and position in hierarchy. Judgment is a necessary part in adaptation and taking further actions to carry out your mission, which ultimately boils down to basics of survival and procreation. Judging is a culmination of your previous experiences, worldview, social programming, personal preferences of both biological and social nature. Not judging is almost being naive, because that would diminish the knowledge of the past and make it obsolete, as you would approach any new situations with a blank slate and make it hard on yourself to maneuver. Every time you go to a barbershop or hair salon, you make a judgment. Same goes for restaurants and other establishments. You look around, you try to match what you see with the perception of an appropriate atmosphere and presentation of such establishment, according to your previous experiences, of course. Then further making a decision of staying or leaving. If you're on a date with someone and your company suddenly starts to bash past partners and even talk negatively about third party, then a small imp hops onto their head, eagerly waving with a red flag. You make a judgment. You reassess the situation and decide whether this will be a fling, a fun time, or if you should excuse yourself and leave. When a friend of yours suddenly changes patterns and you feel that something is off, that conclusion is based on your judgment of history. You were tight, kicking it together at least once a week, slurping tea over a game of Tekken or something, and now you barely hear from them. There are two main reasons we are being judgmental: situational judgment and personality judgment. Situational attributions are referring to a possible scenario that might have happened to the person that we're making judgment about. The benefit of the doubt, if you like. For example, if you waved at your buddy from a distance and noticed how he was clearly trying to dodge and ignore you because of some personal agenda. Did you hear what I said? Clearly. Really? Clearly for whom? For you, of course. It's your own perception, thus it's your interpretation of the situation. But being a level-headed person as you are, you come to your senses and conclude something similar. Maybe he was dodging someone else. Maybe he was in a hurry. Maybe he didn't see me. It was a crowded area in the middle of the day. Personality attributions are referring to the character of the person you're making judgments about, including the appearance. Now take the same situation from the previous example and think of another outcome. I knew there was something wrong with him. He felt sketchy right from the start. And now he's dodging me? Who does he think he is? A weasel. I bet he's hiding something. I will get to the bottom of this, and he will regret for being such a jerk. When you meet someone new, and your assessment of their personality is solely based on the superficial, upon your first impressions. Ultimately, it's hard to categorize people without any backstory. To break it down further, when we judge the character right away, we judge the messenger. We attribute the situation to the flaws of their personality. When we judge the situation instead, We acknowledge the fact that there might be an unlimited number of reasons things could go wrong or turn up to be in a certain way. We tone it down and leave it to an eventual explanation, regardless if it presents itself or not. The more invested you are in a person, the less you judge their character and try to make the assessment of the situation instead. Like in a breakup, taking things way too personal might be a sign of a fragile ego. That being said, judging is not always uncalled for. As I mentioned previously, it's a sum of past experiences in dealing with certain types of situations. And as humans, we very often tend to project externally what we feel about ourselves internally. The way we dress, the way we act, the way we talk, carry ourselves. All of this is a part of non-verbal communication, body language. Why do you think there are dress codes and fashion styles? You could almost call it passive communication. So judging becomes a way to interpret that feedback from other people. Everything that we have proclivity for is natural. Where it gets complicated is when we lose control of it, become run by the lizard brain without even questioning the rationale. It's by understanding and accepting our ways that we can make them to align with our preferred lifestyle instead of being reactionary. I've seen this style, this behavior before, and I have a bad experience with it, so I should proceed with caution until proven otherwise. Or I also have similar hobbies and interests, and I'm sure we would hit it off. Wait a minute, I shouldn't be quick to judge. We should go on a date and see what happens. Yet again, a self-aware and mindful approach opens up to a more humanistic and virtuous coexistence in societies. And that begins with the self, not being harsh on ourselves, and instead trying to have an internal dialogue whenever we catch ourselves judging. Is it rational and sane what I think and feel at the moment? The internal dialogue is cultivated with acquired wisdom, questioning own beliefs and searching for the truth. To make it clear, personality judgment cannot be brushed off as being bigoted. You have to always take the source into consideration. It's like when you're taking dating advice from someone. Check if the person giving it is successful himself. A wise person knows. An ignorant person judges. One thing you should remember is that you cannot prevent other people from seeing you in a certain light. The only thing you have control over is your own mind, and trying to change people's behavior is not possible nor sane. The sound way to tackle superficial judgment from others is to be solid in your own core, judging people by the content of their character. Truly a dream. Hossein out.